Hi, I'm Ben and I'm a consular officer. So I work in the Office of Children's Issues in Overseas Citizen Services. And so what we do is we work with parents who've had their children abducted, and we work to try to get their children back from overseas when they've been taken by the other parents back to another country that other parent might be from. And so we work with them to try and explain the remedies, the different resources that might be available to them. We work with the foreign government to try to find where the child is and to use, in some cases we use a treaty arrangement to get the children back, and then in other cases we work with our embassies to try and find the children and get them back to the United States so that the families can be reunited. It's very hard, but at the end of the day we're helping American citizens get their families back together and to return those children back home so that the procedures, the processes can be properly followed. As more and more Americans travel overseas, there's a full range of issues that we deal with. And in my time as a consular officer, I've done everything from document a new American citizen that was born to parents who are traveling abroad to help families who had a loved one die while taking a vacation overseas. I grew up in western North Carolina, just where the mountains start. And I went to the University of North Carolina as a Morehead Kane Scholar. And when I was there, I started studying journalism, and I thought that I wanted to be an international journalist. But as these things oftentimes happen, I ran into a friend and said, gosh, you should take the Foreign Service exam. And the next thing you know, I'm standing in Mexico in a visa section, getting to meet hundreds of new Mexican citizens every day as they get ready to travel to the United States. Now, I can't imagine any other life. It's given just a tremendous amount of opportunities to my family and to me to go and explore and be part of a global community at the same time that we're serving our country. Well, I actually worked for an internet startup company, and it was a city guide. I have to say, in those days, it was quite a shock to leave an internet startup and come to work for the State Department. It was quite a change in mentality and sort of informality. Well, because the thing about the internet is it's all about connections and about connecting with people. And what I love about consular work is the opportunity to meet new and different people really every single day. And each visa interview, I try to think of it as a chance to, in 2 minutes, practice my trade of journalism, where I have to try to learn about that person's life so that I can make a decision to let legitimate travelers come to the United States, but also to keep out people who may not mean well for the United States. And so I've had the opportunity to let grandmothers receive a visa so that they can come and visit their newborn grandbaby, but at the same time I've stopped drug traffickers and violent criminals from coming to the United States through the visa interview process. And then on the other side, I get to meet American citizens who've traveled all around the world, and many times it's just that they need a new passport, but other times they find themselves through no fault of their own facing a real difficult situation, and I'm able to use the connections that I've made with the government in that country to help them find the right hospital or the right lawyer, or to explain the legal system to them so that they can get back home to the United States. And so on the 4th of July in, I guess it would have been 2006, we were in Nogales, Mexico, which is just across the border from the United States. But we did a 4th of July, we did a big jazz concert, a New Orleans jazz concert on the main market square there in Nogales. And my little daughter was giving out Mardi Gras beads. And it was wonderful to see her connect with this little Mexican child as she gave out those Mardi Gras beads. And I thought, even though this child has grown up literally 100 yards away from the U.S. border, this may be the closest interaction she's ever had with an American. And really, my daughter was America to that little girl that day. Unlike other countries, we don't have a national religion, we don't have a national ethnicity. The only thing that we all share is our obligation to the Constitution. And that's what makes us Americans, and that's what we are when we're overseas as diplomats.